no sooner had they arrived in Mexico than the Spanish settlers discovered silver. They then constructed a road 3,000 kilometers long to transport the silver extracted from the mines northward, then towards the west. A road full of hopes and riddled with pitfalls and dangers. This is the road I'm going to take from Mexico to the southern United States. I want to meet the dreamers, hobos, and illegal immigrants who still today travel the Silver Road. I'm going to travel from Taxco, Mexico to Las Vegas, the United States, by way of Zacatecas and Piedras Negras. But for now, the journey starts in Taxco. It was here 500 years ago, and with the help of God, that conquistador Hernán Cortés struck silver for the first time in Mexico. Back then, the Indians regarded gold and silver as excrements of the sun and the moon. Cortés had no problem filling his pockets. He built mines and stripped the country of its treasures. In return, the Spanish taught the Indians how to shine shoes and play music. Now the mines are closed, but silver's devilish soul still permeates the city, and that's what I'm out to find. Under the gaze of Santa Prisca, erected here to chase away the thunder, I meet Eduardo Garcia, a Taxco taxi driver.
Where are you headed?
Downtown. I'm looking for a silversmith, someone who could show me how to work silver.
If you like, I can take you to a nearby workshop.
Perfect.
The good thing about Taxco is that they work the silver by hand, unlike, say, Italian silver, which is made with machines. Plus, it contains less silver. Taxco is where the best silver work is done. It's real silver, pure silver. What do you make of the back streets of Taxco?
Well, you seem to manage pretty well. It's a real maze.
Actually, the place was designed for carts and mules, not cars. One day, I was on the tourist trail, heading for a place called Puliantla. I was in a car, everything seemed fine, and then suddenly I had no brakes. They overheated. I didn't say anything to my customers. I managed to wrestle back control, all by myself, and when I got back to Taxco, the brakes became normal again, as if by magic. Faith is important. Taxi drivers have to believe in God and hope everything will be okay.
In Taxco, faith is important for customers too. Fingers crossed that all goes well on the way down the hills. In a taxi, you always get there in the end, and then you have to pay. But at the end of this trip, there's a dead end, a hill, and, as promised, a workshop.
This is Raul, the craftsman silversmith.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Good morning, welcome.
A dozen craftsmen are working silver by hand. They heat, they insert, they set, they seek beauty. And as with any love story, it all starts off with alchemy.
We usually buy silver in granules. Then we mix it with copper to make it more malleable, so that it can be worked. That way, we get a thread or some leaf. It all depends on how we want to work the silver. We're at 200 degrees, otherwise it won't melt. Come on. I don't know all the names, but still. This is my friend Victor.
Good morning.
Nice to meet you.
And this is my friend, what's your name again?
Jaime.
My friend Remy.
No, Jaime.
This is Benjamin. There's no one here. And this is Harry, my faithful friend.
What's a silversmith's most important quality?
His skill, first and foremost.
How do you feel about working silver?
Well, you get used to it. It's your way of life. And this creates in you a whole thing. Together. Love, you might say. This could be your wife, a boyfriend, a girlfriend.
You like working here, or do you see yourself moving somewhere else?
At my age, I don't want to change. No, I can't.
And your children?
I just have one daughter. But she already has a job. A real job. Less work, more money. She has a fulfilling life. But here, it's a real grind to achieve anything. That's why you have to go to school. But before going on with your journey, how about a souvenir? It's good quality. And it's made with love. If you like them, go ahead.
How much?
How much? 14 cheves. Meaning beers. Right, Harry?
Yeah, boss.
It's a deal. So I leave them a little malt and a few hops for cash and walk out with a silver necklace as a good luck charm. Later on, I swap it for an old Jeep to carry on with my trip. Foot to the floor on the Silver Road. Asphalt, that's what it's all about. The road stretching out ahead, trains going by, and maybe the joy of finally discovering what's at the end of the line. Right now, I'm heading north to Montesa. This is where I was told I could find the vestiges of the old Silver Road. Montesa at an altitude of 2,180 meters. Population 539 plus a pair of dogs. The welcome isn't great, but it's like anywhere else. And there's a gathering in the main square. I try to track down someone who can help me to find Via Corte, the Royal Road. It turns out to be Poncho Villa, who points me towards the village museum. After the tutu, on the right, just at the end of the plumed serpent.
¿Hay alguien?
Anyone home? Behind the door is Don Chepito Diaz de Leon, curator and founder of this little museum. Everything locked up here, right?
Everything.
Inside is Ali Baba's cave, dedicated to the Silver Road. Coins, badges, old cartridges. And like all treasure finders, the first thing he tells me about is thieves.
They tied my hands and feet. They put a gun to my head and stole everything.
What did they steal?
They stole 2 albums of coins. Each album contained around 100. They were 19th century coins. Plus there were some from 1600 and even from 1200 before Christ. They threatened to kill me, and I couldn't report them. They were silver coins, not gold ones, but very, very old silver coins.
So where did you find these coins?
I found them scattered along the Silver Road. Silver was transported by road, but as it was pretty bumpy, the cargo sometimes fell out of the carts or carriages. There were attacks too.
Don Chapito still has the map of the Silver Road, and as I like to think that the best treasure is in the oldest rocks, I follow him closely. With us is a neighbor, José Antonio de la Riva, otherwise known as Tony, the go-to guy if you want a metal detector.
The Spanish, French, and English all came this way. There was no choice. This was the quickest way out, the Via Corta, the short road, straight to Mexico City. The road went this way. We are right alongside the Silver Road here. These cone-shaped buildings are a marvel. I can't remember whether they're from 1535 or 1538. But they were used as haylofts for the animals that came this way. That's what they were for. They filled them up through the opening up above, right up to the top, so that there was always something to feed the livestock on the way through. This isn't silver.
What do you feel when the metal detector goes off?
Well, my heart starts to pound when I hear the detector buzzing. It fires my imagination. It might be a coin, an antique, because whole cartfuls of silver and gold came along here.
What is it?
A cross.
A cross?
Yes. And it's old.
Look how beautiful it is.
The first time you found a treasure, do you remember how you felt?
The first thing I ever found was this little statuette. When I found it, I tell you, it was beautiful. Really nice. People asked me for it, and I even lent it out without knowing its value. Not long after I found it, a gringo came along and said, "We'll give you a van. Go and pick one out and tell us where you found the statue." He kept his van, and I kept my secret.
In our country, they say that when you find a treasure, a curse can come down on you. Is it the same here?
Yes, that's part of the myth, of the legend. They say that only certain people can find treasure. The dead one, the guardian of the treasure, he decides who will find treasure. This person is kind of the chosen one, provided that the person who finds the treasure gives a life, maybe a brother, a father, a son, in exchange for the treasure given that they found.
I wasn't ready to sacrifice anyone for all the gold in the world. I said my goodbyes to John Chapito and Tony and went on my way. The Silver Road still exists in the hearts of those who read history books. So I let myself be carried on the wind in the hope that it would guide me to the present. And that's how I found myself at the foot of a town without a name. I stop here while I get my bearings, and I hear about a station where the train never whistles. A train that rumbles, they say. A station for transit and trafficking. I arrive just as the smugglers are crawling out of their holes. Their cargo? Illegal immigrants. The train they're waiting for is known as the Bestia, the train of death. Every year, 150,000 people from El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala, and all over Central America reach out to the north. Men and women who take the Silver Road in search of gold. Naive men and women, full of hope. To enter the United States, you have to wait your turn. But not to worry, the army and police ensure that nobody stays on the platform. On the ground, we're a little more impatient. Time is precious. What with kidnappings and smuggling fees, human trafficking is the second most lucrative business in the country, after the drug trade. Hundreds of millions of dollars are at stake. It's a real business, and everyone has their own thing going. The smugglers' pickups collect the cash, while the small-time dealers swat away the flies. Everyone does what he can. As for me, after watching them all pile on, I decide to climb aboard. Then I do what everyone else does. I pay 15 pesos for 3 tacos, 10 pesos a banana, and 5 pesos for cardboard. Once everything has been settled up, things slowly get moving. And as expected, we leave without a whistle. There are people everywhere. The train rocks at every bend. There must be a good 1,000 of us. Everyone behaves and carries on their lives as best they can, perched on the edge of a sheet of metal. We left 6 hours ago. 6 hours to watch the sun beginning to set and feel the anxiety levels rise. At night, it's not uncommon for the cartels to set about the train for a spot of organized kidnapping. The further we go, the closer we huddle together. That's how my gaze meets the shining eyes of Luis, a native of Honduras. I want to know what he thinks the dangers are.
Well, the dangers are thugs and criminals. They attack you and kidnap you. They nick your money.
Are there ever any accidents?
I heard a story about a fall. Some guy fell and had his legs cut off when the train's wheels ran over him.
There's a rumor on this train that some guy died. Have you any idea what happened?
Yes, yes. That's another one. Something nasty happened. The guy was standing up. You should never stand up on trains.
And the risks you run, the fact you might die, is it worth it for a few dollars more?
I know all this. I know the risks. But I don't want to go back to my country. I believe in God. I think that things will turn out well. I can work as a builder, as a mechanic, construction, any kind of job, even dishwasher.
Which part of the United States do you want to go to? Where are you headed?
My plan, my idea is to head for California, Long Beach. But if it's Houston, then it's Houston, Texas. I'll go wherever I can. Basically, though, I'd like to go to Pennsylvania.
Mind the branch.
That one scratched me. Fortunately, the cap saved me.
Sure you're okay?
Yeah, don't worry, I'm fine.
No night in Mexico is longer than a night on this train. It's like being on a high wire over a chasm. By the time day breaks, we feel almost heroic for having survived the Bestia, the train of death. With every stop, it's the same story. The police make sure that the stowaways are only passing through, then the dealing can resume. Tacos, bananas, cardboard. After a while, everyone calmly resumes their position, and we're off again. How long will it take you to get to the United States from here?
Without stopping, a month. A month of non-stop travel. But if I do some work along the way, then it can take much longer. 6 months, maybe a year. It's a long time.
How will you get by once you arrive and make yourself understood?
To learn English, I'll watch the lips, the movement of the mouth, and try to understand. Probably not many words, but I'll try to understand. I'll get there in the end.
What about the immigration services? How will you avoid them?
Well, there's a whole network up there. There's a lookout who tells us when the immigration service is coming. Then you run, you get away. You have to be on the lookout at all times and keep your eyes peeled. But I have faith in God, so I'm on my way. I have faith. I need to earn a little money. $10. If I can earn $10 every day, that'll be a nice sum to take back to Honduras. I don't care how long I have to save up for. What matters is to save and be able to send money back to Honduras to support my family. Yes, I believe in God, I do.
I wanted to believe in God too, to pray for the guy who slept at my shoulder throughout the journey and confided in me as a friend. 150 kilometers in 18 hours, we finally arrive in Zacatecas. Sprawling, unpredictable Zacatecas. As soon as it arrives, the train loses its illegal immigrants. It's election day here, and the police are less conciliatory. They keep a close eye on things. A ripple of fear runs through the city. At moments like this, you quickly forget how far you've come and prepare for the worst.
Hey!
You want somewhere nice to eat?
Among other things, yes, it's time.
So come on in.
How come you speak French? I want a restaurant where they speak Spanish.
Hey, I'll talk to you in Spanish if you like, but I can see you're French. You've got that dumbass French look about you. So please, come on in.
So how is it that you speak French?
I lived in France for 15 years.
So do I follow you into the kitchen?
You want to see the kitchen?
Yes, sure.
Okay, let's go. Let's hit the kitchen. Come on, this way. Por favor. Mind your head. Rare. We like our meat rare.
You had a restaurant in France?
I worked in France as a chef at La Place du Clichy in Paris. The meat's coming along, so we'll add a little olive oil. Chateaubriand, as we say in English.
I couldn't help noticing that your calling card says you trade in semi-precious stones, gold and silver. What's that all about?
That's a secret.
It's a secret, but you put it on your calling card.
I don't declare any of that. I do quite a lot. Like these small pearls from Peru, which I buy a lot of and make little bracelets, which I sell.
What does silver represent to you?
Here in Mexico, we have lots of mestizos, a mixture of Spanish and Indian, and many of these women have very matte skin. Gold is a color that doesn't suit them. But silver
Works every time?
10 out of 10. Pure silver.
Outside, life goes on. Inside, Danielle Collins, a native of America, tries to present Mexico in a different light. It's impossible, though, to forget the illegal immigrants who this morning were my brothers on the road. Freedom is what I surreptitiously drink to in the evening. When I wake up, the road brings comfort too. Its warm asphalt, its sensuous line. I decide to head east towards 14, meaning 14. which owes its name to the 14 bandits hanged there for robbing travelers on the Silver Road, their carts overflowing with riches. The gang stationed itself on top of a hill and swooped down on their prey. Down below, I get the feeling that nothing much has changed. As we approach the border, and despite appearances, this part of Mexico is one of the most dangerous in the country. Faced with a real risk of abduction, I make a decision. I need to save my neck, so I make a dash for it, change cars to cover my tracks, and head off to hole up in the mountains. I've heard about a woman, a hobo who has made a vow of solitude to lead a simple life. It seems she lives in the mountains 3 hours away from the village. I decide to go and visit her, to hear her version of man's relationship with silver. Sure enough, at the roadside, I find Nancy, a woman of about 40, with her goats.
The road is dangerous, but it's beautiful here, isn't it? Were you scared on the way up?
No, but it's very impressive.
Welcome to this pretty mountain. Where are you from?
France.
It's really sweet of you to come all the way up here. Go home now, children. I'm coming. Come on, goats, off we go.
Bread and water. Better than expected. But one question keeps nagging at me. How do you manage to live alone up here, especially when you're a woman?
The mountain gives us everything, you know. You just have to take care of it and work. You'll see the rabbit area, and over there, I also have a small garden. I grow corn, peas, and zucchinis. Everything that nature gives us. The earth is a mother, and she feeds us. You just have to work her land in love and enjoy. Careful, they mustn't get scared. They're very sensitive. I've now got 30 rabbits.
But Nancy has more than just animals for company.
I was searching for God for many years. Then, when I came here, I was still searching everywhere. He was within me, but I didn't realize it. Then suddenly, I opened my eyes. People live in the superficial. They kill for religion. Religion divides humanity, whereas we must be united. The true God is within us.
In Nancy's daily life, the goats set the tempo. They too seem astounded by the unshakable belief of their goat herd. I want to hear more about it.
God gave us the ability to think and to act, so as not to suffer. And He thought of the goats too. New solutions, new farming methods must be found. I'm going to build myself a greenhouse so that I can sow crops in winter and have produce all the year round. This is where I make cheese. When I came here, all I had was a suitcase. And let me tell you, I was hungry. I figured I either had to get to work or leave. So I started looking around me and noticed that there was mud. And without any experience, I began making bits and pieces of pottery. Then one day, I was given a goat, and little by little my herd became bigger. Thanks to God, I was able to manage and produce food. I developed the potential that God gave me. Our potential is our homeland. You have to exploit it to improve our financial standing. Mexico has everything. What we lack is the courage to work.
For pilgrim and shepherd alike, spirituality starts with the feet. Whether we're believers or not, it's our road that makes us. Whatever we are, we exist only through the path we're on. For Nancy, goats are just an excuse, but her hopes and fears are very real. And it's in the shadow of her wisdom that she decides to tell me about it.
When I first came here, I was often afraid. When I saw the shepherds with their knives, I was afraid they'd try to kill me. Later, miners arrived in the valley at 4 or 5 in the morning, and I was afraid of what they'd do to me. Looking after goats involves a certain degree of solitude. I sometimes fall into a deep silence to be at one with nature and discover all that is wonderful in her. God is in the mountain and everything else around here.
So, have you ever seen God?
One day, I was deep in prayer, and he appeared to me just for a few seconds. I sensed his presence really strongly. I couldn't breathe, and my God, I started to cry. Thank you, Lord. I felt that you were there. I imagine it's the type of experience that couples have. I've never known that. But I imagine it's like an orgasm. He loves us as we are, in our misery, with the values we have, with such a deep love. It is an endless love that anyone can feel right now if they want to.
After a while, the goats wandered off, and I dozed off. And then, suddenly, Nancy was gone. I was rudely awakened. I had a date at the foot of a slag heap and a chimney. Down below is the Cantada silver mine. 150 workers and a few six-shooters to ensure security. The first thing that strikes me is that if this is only a tiny fraction of what lies beneath, then the mine must be huge. And indeed, down below, nearly 100 kilometers of tunnels and galleries await me. The Silver Road begins underground. My excitement is driven by the idea of diving into a hole. The fact it's full of silver is neither here nor there. But once underground, the order and the calm are overwhelming. Geologist Rogelio Galicia Ovalle is my guide, the man responsible for bringing me back to reality.
This is the ore. It's called Beta Solos Oro. Each ton produces almost a kilo of silver, so this is a particularly good seam.
A good seam. You can say that again. It's a godsend. Mexico is the world's largest producer of silver, with 5,000 tons a year. And as in many countries, it's the foreigners that invest here. No less than $8 billion every year. Silver, a universal equation. The poor down the hole, and the rich in the sun. No smell, just the taste of sweat. Back on the surface, the light is certainly dazzling. And suddenly, silver no longer tastes the same. But the silver production doesn't stop here. And Rogelio says he is even better to show me. In the depths of a secret hangar, the alchemists of capitalism busy themselves around a fire. Age-old technology is used. Silver was discovered 3,500 years before Christ. You take a bit of ore, let it melt at 1,200 degrees to form ingots, then sell it for 800 euros a kilo. If silver makes the work go round, it starts to make my head spin. Try as they might to clean it, it still looks strange.
It's hard to melt silver.
What's the hardest part of your work?
The smoke's the hardest part. Definitely.
What are the production levels exactly?
Every day we put out between 30 and 40 bars.
How many kilograms is that?
That's about 12 to 1,300 kilograms.
What's it like to be in daily contact with so much silver?
Being with all this silver, it makes me feel like it's kind of mine.
What if it really did belong to you? What would you do with it?
What would I do? These ingots aren't mine. If they were, I'd do lots of things. But they're not, so...
There are two ways of looking at wealth. What you'd do if you had it, and what you feel capable of doing when you don't. It all depends on your point of view. In trying to reach the border, I finally hit a wall. And on the other side of the wall is the Rio Grande, the natural frontier that separates Mexico from the United States. In this no man's land, a few swallows watch the trains go by, with no illegal immigrants aboard. These few hundred meters are the last rampart that separates you from an uncertain world, one which pulls you in nonetheless. The moon above gives me counsel. After a good 2 hours of driving at walking pace, I finally enter the United States. Next stop, Las Vegas, straight ahead. After a while, I don't know what gets into me, I start to clock up kilometers, then states. I keep expecting to see Thelma and Louise or Bonnie and Clyde, trunk full of dollars heading in the opposite direction, hightailing it to Mexico. For me too, the American road has the whiff of dreams, of freedom. The more of it that goes by, the less you want it to stop, because at the end of the Silver Road is Las Vegas. Vegas, city of all vices, the town of money and silver par excellence. Here it isn't just palm trees that grow in the middle of the desert. In the middle of all this chaos, I finally find a point of reference. Here, against all the odds, I meet Christian and Angel, a pair of Mexicans who eke out a living playing Elvis.
Come on, take a photo. Viva Las Vegas! I'm from Mexico City. I've been living in the USA for 13 years now. 10 years in California and around 4 years in Las Vegas. And like all the immigrants, I came in across the desert. 2 days and 3 nights in the desert. I was stung by a scorpion, bitten by a snake. Many people lose their lives along the way. I saw bodies on my way across the desert. When you finally get to walk on American soil, you tell yourself that it was all worth it. But you come here to win or lose. If I didn't have any money, I wouldn't be able to buy this costume, this bandana, these shoes, put gel in my hair, and imitate Elvis Presley, who's dead. I need money for gel and makeup. You need a little silver in life. Thanks a lot. Viva Las Vegas!
What goes around comes around. Across the street, while the Mexicans think they're kings of the dance floor, the flamingos fleece the tourists. Nighttime in Vegas, and the denizens of the flesh take over. Money out of necessity, sex by instinct. The seduction game is the compromise. Everyone has their own way, their own pitch, and they begin to strut about, urged on by the delirious crowd. What do you plan to do in Vegas?
We're here on vacation with our friends. We're all 21. We haven't seen each other. We all go to different colleges, so...
So you went to the casino? Did you bet?
Yeah, a little. She did. Yeah. Not so good yet.
Not so good.
Yeah. We're not the best. We like the slot machines. Yeah. We like the ones where you just press buttons and that's about it. Yeah.
I'd rather go shopping and actually get things for my money and not just try to make money. I'll leave that for the professionals.
So what's your definition of money?
Of money? Oh, wow. You know, it's something that you have to get by sometimes, but you don't need a lot to be happy, I think.
It's hard to ask Americans that because I feel like we're so greedy with money a lot of the times.
You're talking to poor, broke college students, so right, we're all poor, but we have the company and the laugh, so we're good.
You are just getting so deep.
I know. So yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. Thank you, God bless.
The sun provides the real miracle of the evening. Despite the tower blocks, it manages to break through in the city with no clocks. In the casinos, it's impossible to know what time it is, or to see any daylight. Everything is designed to suspend you in this trance, to fuel your addiction. My drug is the road, so there's nothing much here for me in this vortex of poker, blackjack, and roulette. But I feel the urge to gamble and press every button to break the bank. So I fumble deep in my pockets and dig out 1 peso. Not enough to frighten any of these machines. In desperation, I distance myself a little and reflect on the saying which has brought me here. Money is round and made to roll. I hated it at first, but with hindsight, it's propelled me on my journey, fueling my wanderlust. Thanks to silver, I've had encounters and smiles along the road. And now it's time for me to leave.
Had lots of yelling in the background. They got the address. Rolling